President Tinubu directs adequate security for TCN to immediately restore power to 17 northern states.
Mr. President has assured me that he has also instructed the NSA, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Air Staff to provide the required security for the people that will fix the demolished line.
Some state governments get thumbs up on new minimum wages. Federal government pledges commitment to new benchmark.
We applaud those who have started. Those who have not started, we just want to appeal to them to start the payments.
Senate seeks investments in education to create jobs and drive the economy.
Entrepreneurship training will equip graduates to innovate, create, and drive local economy.
Good evening and welcome to the network news on the network service of the NTA. I'm Olajide Bello. Reading with me tonight from Lagos is Adiola Konmi Akere. Benny Adams will bring us up to speed on happenings in the business world. Benny, what's the good news on MSMEs?
Well, it is a cheering one as the federal government offers lifeline of 75 billion naira for small businesses as the portal opens today for applications.
All right, many thanks, Benny. Bade Adele is on standby to feed us happenings in sports. Bade, what's on the menu tonight?
It's the Ballon d'Or night, and of course, we're waiting to see who wins. But Nigeria's Ademola Lookman has been ranked 14th, and we do hear that Vinicius Jr. will not be winning it.
All right, many thanks, Bade. Fingers crossed. You can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. President Bola Tinubu has directed security agencies to provide immediate and adequate security for personnel of the transmission company of Nigeria to enable restoration of power to some northern states currently experiencing power outage. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu discloses this after a briefing President Bola Tinubu on the power supply situation in the north. 17 states of the north are currently in blackouts due to vandalism at the Shiroro-Kaduna transmission line, a major line supplying power to the northern part of the country.
You are sure of your safety in the area. Why it has escalated to this level is because we've not been able to guarantee security of lives of those that will work there. But Mr. President has assured me that he has also instructed the NSA, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, and Chief of Air Staff to provide the required security for the people that will fix the demolished line.
That also speaks on reasons for incessant collapse on national grid in parts of the country. Similarly, Northern Governors Forum, in collaboration with traditional rulers, have resolved to work closely with federal government to end ongoing power outages in the region. Mohammed Umar Ajingi reports by Chairman of the Forum, Mohammed Inwa Yahya, at a meeting in Kaduna says the governors will also take advantage of compressed natural gas CNG initiatives as well as the livestock development projects to drive economic growth and improve well-being of the people.
The northern governors and the custodians of the cultural heritage of the region, one by one, arriving for another meeting to address the challenges facing the north. It began with the host governor, Ubasani, and the Northern Governors Forum Chairman Muhammad Inwahaya setting the tone for the discussions.
We must work with the federal government to ensure that fiscal policies are sensitive to the realities of the day. As we speak today, most of our northern states are in darkness due to vandalization of electricity transmission infrastructure. This not only underscores the vulnerability of critical infrastructure, but also the need to build additional transmission lines.
The establishment of a joint military command and launching of Operation Fansanyama are clear demonstrations of the federal government's commitment to decisively tackle the multidimensional challenges of insecurity confronting the North.
The issue of out-of-school children, Al-Majiri, is a very sore problem to all of us.
For us, cooperation is very, very key and very critical to our success. By working hand in hand, we can overcome the challenges before us and pave the way for a better northern Nigeria.
It is expected that at the end of their deliberations, the leaders will come up with an alternative ways of solving the problems. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umarajinki, NTA News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima briefs President Bola Tinubu on matters of state during the 2-week vacation of the Nigerian leader abroad. The Vice President meets with his boss this Monday. Vice President Shettima returned to the country Saturday morning from an aborted trip to the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, Chigum, in Samoa, where he was supposed to represent his principal. He was also in Sweden while the president was away on break. And the federal government expresses satisfaction with responses of some state governments who have announced their new minimum wage following declaration by the federal government. Secretary to the government of the Federation, Judge Akume, who was in the State House to discuss state affairs with President Bola Tinubu, was a significant member of the Tripartite Committee on the National Minimum Wage while reiterating federal government's commitment to the new pay benchmark. The SGF urges subnationals to ensure implementation.
We're very satisfied with it, and some state governments have started implementing. Others have even gone beyond 70. So I believe that there's no problem with that whatsoever. We applaud those who have started. Those who have not started, we just want to appeal to them to start the payments.
And to the Red Chambers, investment in education institutions that will drive innovation, sustainability, economic growth and create jobs is cornerstone for national development. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, said this at a public hearing of a bill that seeks the establishment of the Federal University of Agriculture and Entrepreneurship to enhance recovery efforts in Northeast Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Harnessing the potential of agriculture and equipping the youth for challenges of the 21st century formed the motive for the establishment of the proposed Federal University of Agriculture and Entrepreneurship in Bama, Borno State. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, represented by the Senate Chief Whip, notes the significance of the institution.
The agricultural sector holds immense potentials for job creation and food security. And it is imperative that we harness these potentials through education and research.
Entrepreneurship training will equip graduates to innovate, create, and drive local economy, particularly in a region that has experienced considerable hardship.
The proposed university, which focuses on agriculture and entrepreneurship, will provide a platform for youths to transform opportunities to business ventures and accordingly manage those ventures to become a medium for job creation for themselves and others.
Other stakeholders expressed support for the creation of the institution. In another development, the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters was at the Supreme Court as it seeks collaboration with the Chief Justice of Nigeria for efficiency in the justice system.
Amendments that have to be done to several laws and also the Constitution to put into place the reforms that we think are necessary. At the end of the day, they say judiciary is the last hope of the common man. But part of that also is that the judicial system is effective and efficient.
It was the first engagement between the committee and the Chief Justice. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The 7 ministerial nominees recently appointed by President Tinubu have made documentation ahead of their screening and confirmation by the Senate, which commences on Tuesday, October 29, 2024. In a statement, the special advisor to the President on National Assembly matters, Senator Bashir Lado, says that the nominees have submitted relevant documents as the first in the series of procedures for the screening and confirmation. The nominees are expected to be screened and confirmed by the Senate in compliance with Section 147 of the Constitution. The National Assembly has expressed strong commitments towards enacting legislations that will guarantee greater inclusion of women in governance structure in Nigeria. Speaker House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas gave his pledge at the International Legislative Dialogue on Women in Nigeria organized by the House Committee on Constitution Review. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikben reports.
Women representation in governance in Nigeria has been low despite their population and influence across various sectors. The National Assembly, for instance, currently has only 20 out of 469 seats occupied by women. Speakers at this legislative dialogue on women and constitution amendment process attribute the situation to perception and institutional barriers which must be dismantled.
If we trust women to shape our homes, nurture our own families, and educate our children, we must also trust them to contribute to shaping our nation's future.
We must ensure that the national and state houses of assembly are inclusive and welcoming to women.
Just as justice is blind, so too must our laws, appointments, and opportunities be gender neutral.
There is indeed no shortage of intelligent, ambitious, and capable women potential leaders in Nigeria, but multiple obstacles hinder their leadership aspirations and candidacy.
Participants stressed the need for state legislatures to key into the resolve of federal lawmakers to guarantee inclusion for women in elective and appointive positions.
Our commitment is essential for driving the change that women in Nigeria so rightly deserve.
Thank you for leading that conversation, Mr. Speaker and Deputy Speaker, around dedicated quotas for women.
We hope that after today's conversations, we will go back with stronger legislations and stronger gender policies that will be specific.
The event climaxed with a statement of agreement to support constitution amendments that will promote special seats for women in national and state assemblies, as well as gender equity in the Federal Character Commission. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
We're talking continental security. To tackle security in Africa, strong and effective institutions must be put in place. This was emphasized by former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta at the inaugural lecture of Course 33 of the National Defense College, Nigeria. The former Kenyan leader stresses the need for the formation of a common front among African leaders and security agencies to rid the continent of security challenges to promote economic activities.
To address the problem systematically, we must have some level of introspection across all layers of government and politics. By instituting reforms at the national level, we are laying the foundation to reinvent ourselves as Africans at the sub-regional, regional, and continental level.
The commandant of the National Defense College, Rear Admiral Olumiyiwa Olochi, notes that the course prepares personnel to improve research on the security situation in Africa and provide practical solutions to field officers.
The inaugural lecture is organized to launch the participants into the course and to prepare them for the scholarly activities in line with the mission of this college.
100 senior personnel from Nigerian Armed Forces, Police Force, and 23 from foreign countries attended the course. The Office of the National Security Advisor has convened a meeting of stakeholders to strengthen the country's ability to protect its digital infrastructure from emerging threats. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the application of digital technology has heightened the vulnerability of digital assets in the country.
Nigeria's digital infrastructure faces a range of cyber threats and attacks. Aside from threats to private computers and mobile devices, telecommunication and banking networks are also subject of large-scale attacks.
We have strengthened our resolve to effectively confront these threats. This workshop provides the platform for us to jointly develop the roadmap for the implementation of the initiatives spelled out in the executive order.
In 2023, more than 14 billion naira was lost to breaches to digital infrastructure.
These are only figures reported to the NCC. These figures illustrate not only a direct financial burden, but also an extensive impact on our services, economy, and national security.
The armed forces are committed to take the challenge and work with the Office of the National Security Advisor on whatever resolution is being reached and whatever strategies have been developed.
It is Mr. President's strategy, policy, and determination to improve the power sector, because that's what all these things sit on.
When a critical information infrastructure is being cut off, you cannot talk to anybody, you cannot even book your flight, you cannot travel, you cannot do anything. So that is how bad it will be if these things happens.
Just like the popular saying, security is everyone's business. This platform stressed the need for collective responsibility towards the protection of critical government infrastructure and information, and also the adoption of a whole-of-society approach. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
To the judiciary, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, has urged judicial officers to reject actions that could tarnish the image of the judiciary or impede fair administration of justice. The CJN gave the charge in Abuja at the opening of Batch B induction course for newly appointed judicial officers of the Superior Courts of Record. Chukunonso Nwabweze reports.
Converged here at the National Judicial Institute, Abuja, for the Stream 2 of the Institute's 2024 induction course for judicial officers of superior courts in the country are the newly appointed judges of the Federal and State High Courts, National Industrial Court, caddies of the Sharia Courts of Appeal, and judges of the Customary Courts of Appeal. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, while warning judicial officers regarding the indiscriminate granting of ex parte orders, charged the participants to execute their duties with unwavering integrity.
Judicial discretion in the issuance of remand orders must be exercised with careful consideration of the particular circumstances of the case. We must remain conscious of our control over our courts and uphold this responsibility with firmness and prudence.
We look forward to receiving and recording the participation of your Lordship at various training programs tailored to build their capacity in various areas of law and to equally enhance their functionality.
Repositioning the course for better justice delivery, the induction course is specially designed to indoctrinate His Lordships in the peculiarities of the higher bench, as well as to familiarize them with the art and craft of justice delivery pertaining to their new roles. Chukunonso Nwabweze, NTA News.
And still to come, 15 million Nigerians of poverty in 4 years. Details in a moment. Thanks for being there. 15 million Nigerians have been taken off poverty in 4 years under the Nigeria Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus (NGCARES) program. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Budget and Academic Planning, Dr. Emeka Vitalis Obi, discloses this at a national peer learning and experience sharing event in Abuja. Neka Oko reports.
4 years on, stakeholders agree that the NGCARES program has proven its worth. This feat was achieved after 3 rounds of independent verification assessment of results by the states and FCT between 2021 and 2024, amounting to $835 million.
The phenomenal results that have been achieved by this program under our administration have necessitated the clamor for the continuation of this intervention. This request is receiving expeditious attention of the World Bank, which is processing an additional financing to the tune of $500 million US.
The second phase of NGCares, we are working. We are at the initial phase of the program. We are working hard, and our goal is to get it approved at the right time.
National Coordinator of NGCares, Dr. Abdulkarim Obaje, revealed that the program's next phase is expected to benefit from the shared knowledge and expertise.
So the intention is to ensure that in the design or redesign of NGCares, additional financing, which is expected to come on board sometime next year, we should learn from the experiences of the past.
The NGCares journey began 4 years ago with a mission to mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on poor and vulnerable Nigerians. In Abuja, Neka Uku, NTA News.
With a global village evolving around a digital economy, Nigerian youths need to unlock new possibilities that will drive innovation and shape the future of the nation towards rapid technological advancement. The founder and group managing director, System Specs Holding Limited, Dr. John Obaro, disclosed this while delivering a lecture at the convocation ceremony of King's University, Odeomu, Osun State. Cardio Ladusu reports that Dr. Obaro was honored with a doctorate degree of science by the university.
During the lecture at the combined 2023 and 2024 convocation ceremony of King's University, Odeomu, Osun State, Dr. John Tanimola Obaro, who spoke on the theme, Navigating the Digital Era, Embracing Creativity and Unlocking the Boundaries of Technology, emphasized that the digital landscape is full of various opportunities and now is the time for young Nigerians to key fully into it.
Irrespective of your field of study, you have the opportunity to leverage on technology. In fact, today, I won't even think it's a necessary advantage to specialize in core computing or computing courses. Any course you study, you can still leverage technology.
The Chancellor of the King's University, Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo, believes the knowledge impacted on the students will make them all excel, urging them to make tech their companion.
I believe if they can tap into creativity, they will not need to worry about whether there is employment or not.
With a lot of work and with creative mind, they also can become like Obaro.
The combined convocation witnessed students graduating with bachelor's degrees in various disciplines, out of which 10 students bagged first-class honors.
Praying and trusting God really is the key to coming out with a first class.
We expect that we will hear of them, that they are going to be outstanding in every area that they find themselves.
Based on its entrepreneurial innovation and development, the university honored Dr. John Tanimola Obaro with doctorate degree of science. From Odeomu, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
In talking health, to reshape the future of healthcare systems in West Africa, the issues of reliance on external funding, inadequate human resources, political instability, among others, must be addressed. This resonates at the 40th Scientific Conference of the West Africa College of Physicians with the theme, Improving Health Systems in the West African Region, Opportunities and Challenges. Uche Gochuku reports that the conference hosted by Nigeria was declared open by the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate.
Physicians from across 13 West African countries are in Nigeria to dialogue on how to harness the potentials in the region to build resilient health systems that would not only respond to crises, but also promote sustainable health for generations to come.
Improving health systems in West Africa involves addressing complex but interrelated factors that affect health outcomes.
We need to consider streamlining as well, because there are newer specialties that are emerging, to consider how we build that into our postgraduate medical education and to foster interdisciplinary research and training.
We'll be working hard to tackle the disease by training people you know, making sure that all the standards, the health standards in the world, the best health standard will be observed in Africa.
The West African College of Physicians' 48th Scientific Conference is a wake-up call to policymakers, healthcare professionals and stakeholders to work together to build stronger, more resilient health systems for the people of West Africa. New fellows and members were inducted into the college at the event. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
And away from health, the founding members of Women Trafficking and Child Labor Eradication Foundation, WCLEF, are marking 25 years of impactful efforts in the fight against human trafficking and child abuse in Nigeria. Baba Suleiman reports that the celebration has drawn dignitaries including Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, former President Olusegun Obasanjo and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar.
In the year 1999, Whatcliff observers are in the view that the foundation has achieved a significant milestone since its establishment 25 years ago. It is the effort of the founding fathers that brought about NAPTIP with the passage of its anti-trafficking bill by the National Assembly, which was signed into law by the former President Olusegun Obasanjo in the year 2003.
Her unwavering dedication to combating human trafficking and child labor has changed countless lives, saving them from child labor. It was a blot on Nigeria.
Amina Titi Abubakar, the initiator and founder of Whatcliff, emphasized the critical need for continued collaboration among stakeholders to tackle the increasing challenges of trafficking confronting Nigeria and beyond.
We fight to save animals. We fight to preserve our environment. We fight drug trafficking. We fight currency trafficking. Why not fight to safeguard and preserve human dignity?
Human trafficking and child labor. I'm deeply honored and delighted to be speaking to you about the issue that affects all of us, together with our differences in status and background.
Nigerian First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, represented by the wife of the Vice President, Nana Kashin Shettima.
The issues of trafficking and child labor are painful realities of women and children, who are often the most vulnerable to this menace.
They called upon all citizens to join the movement to eradicate trafficking and protect the rights of vulnerable populations. Amina Baba Suleiman, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu congratulates Olori Onikepo Olufumike Akande as she marks her 80th birthday on 29th October. President Tinubu highlights Olori Akande's trailblazing record and her contributions to Nigeria's public and private sectors, being first president of the Nigeria Chambers of Commerce and Industry and Agriculture. Revered not only as an exceptional leader, but also as the Iyalode of Ibadan land, a devoted wife to Oba Adebayo Akande, the Ekarun Olubadan of Ibadan land. President Tinubu commends her exceptional service as a boardroom player, public administrator, community leader, philanthropist and business executive, acknowledging her dedication and commitment to driving progress in the nation as Minister of Industry. He praised God Almighty, blessed Nike Akande with continued health and longevity. Similarly, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has also congratulated Olori Nike Akande, pointing out her string of achievements. She wishes the celebrants many more years in divine health, joy, and continued impactful service to our nation. Inclusivity, open-door policy and consolidation on the efforts of past leaders will be the priority of Iman Suleiman as she takes over the baton of leadership as the new Minister of Women Affairs. Gender correspondent Umsode Memdati reports that the new sheriff has already hit the ground running.
Staffers of the ministry, leaders of various women groups and organizations expressed their expectations.
Nigerian women are saying that they have competencies
for governance. They have competencies in professionals. They have competencies around. It should be 50-50 for all of us so that we can have an accelerated development where everyone matters.
We deal with the institution, not the individuals. But the individuals make the institution.
We believe Mr. President has done the right thing, bringing someone who understands gender issues to hit the ground running. She's just a round peg in a round hole.
We're all expecting that the mistakes that have been made in the past will be corrected.
To contribute to women empowerment in Nigeria.
No woman will be left behind, the new minister promises.
For Mr. President, it's very important that there's development for the women, there's prosperity for the women, there's peace. That working together will be able to achieve the renewed hope agenda for every woman and every child and man.
Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
But time now to join Adiola Komi Hakere in Lagos for continuation of the news. Adiola.
Olajide. As a way of deepening regional and international collaboration towards harnessing opportunities in the midstream and downstream sector of the oil and gas industry, policymakers and service providers are deliberating on building resilience for investment. At the opening of the Oil, Trading and Logistics OTL Expo in Lagos, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, which is the platinum sponsor, promised to continue leveraging regulatory framework that provide outstanding enablers to support oil investments. Michael Olaleye has that report.
This 18th edition of the Oil Trading and Logistics OTL Africa Downstream Expo is coming at a time in which crucial decisions taken by Nigeria in the area of full deregulation of the downstream subsector and the activation of the Dangote refinery is shaping regional discourse.
We will explore how global and regional trends are reshaping the supply and demand landscape in Africa, giving us critical insights into the market's trajectory.
Our alignment fully recognizes the African context and the realities of balancing fossil fuels and renewable energy for energy efficiency at the continent's pace.
With the theme, Alliance for Growth, stakeholders here say the path to energizing the future requires partnership driven by innovative solutions and technologies in which no individual can navigate alone.
It is imperative, therefore, that we begin to explore how downstream sector can integrate sustainability into its operations, whether through development of cleaner fuel or reducing emissions, or incorporating real energy into the supply chain. These two will require alliance.
For the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPA, the figures are promising, with the target of 3 million barrels of crude production visible, leveraging the issuance of 9 licenses to establish, 7 to construct, and 4 to operate modular refineries.
Our mission is therefore to ensure that we provide outstanding enablers that supports all investments. The NDPRA is also working with relevant stakeholders to implement new policies on safety and compliance, especially in the CNG space.
The Chief Executive Officer of the LNDPA officially declared the one-week event open, which also offered platform for the exhibition of products cutting across oil and gas industry. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
It was an exciting, captivating and fun-filled experience for participants of one of Nigeria's biggest health Walk Hair Hearts On, an annual event by a leading heart-friendly vegetable oil brand, Power Oil. This year's Heart Walk, which is the 9th edition, aims to promote a healthy lifestyle. Work Hat On is part of Power Oil's ongoing initiative to inspire Nigerians to incorporate a 30-minute walk into their daily routine for improved fitness and overall health. The brand believes that every heart deserves a fighting chance, and one step is enough to improve individuals' heart health by increasing their physical activity to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and live better and longer. This year's Heart Walk started with activities such as aerobics, health talk by medical experts, healthy lifestyle pledge, health camps which offered free basic medical checks for participants to ascertain their health status. Musical performance by popular Nigerian artists also dominated this year's event. The participants were also engaged in a 6-kilometer walk which began from the Stable Sports Ground on Bode Thomas and Surulere through Costain Roundabout to the National Stadium and back to Bode Thomas. Organizers say the 2024 edition is unique in many ways.
The message from Power Oil this year is just a very simple one. Keep active, watch what you eat, be sure of the source, make sure it's from quality sources. Power Oil is one. Every bottle of Power Oil that was bought, a percentage of each purchase or sale contributed to heart-saving surgery.
Bewesa Tireni Olua as one of the 3 beneficiaries of the Together We Can campaign made possible by Power Oil.
Please keep purchasing Power Oil so you can be able to sponsor another person like me.
Power Oil, organizers say, is the preferred choice for health-conscious consumers across Nigeria. And those are the stories from Lagos. The news will continue when we return from this break with the Busy Benny on the business segment.
Now it's good to know that you are where you should be. And now let's get busy with business. The federal government says it is set to disburse 75 billion naira to more than 75,000 small businesses across the country. This was disclosed by the National Association of Small-Scale Industrialists in Abuja as the federal government officially opened the portal for application. The 75 billion is part of the 200 billion Presidential Intervention Fund scheme, support for MSMEs. Stakeholders hereby say the beneficiaries can now access up to 1 million naira to be paid in 3 years at 9% interest rate per annum. As NASI takes the responsibility of enlightening its members, they say no collateral, only a guarantor, CAC registration, BVN, NIN, and a valid means of identification qualifies members. And NASI vows to ensure only legitimate businesses benefit from the intervention.
It's more than just a financial injection. It is a beacon of hope for countless MSMEs that have been struggling to access affordable credit. This initiative will undoubtedly catalyze economic growth, create jobs, and foster innovations.
But this particular scheme, because it's intervention, is a rescue scheme. The rescue scheme has 9% interest rate, 3 years duration, and no collateral requirements.
So we expect that this intervention program would reduce the cost of production, would provide a number of jobs for the masses, and would also improve the GDP growth of the country.
Now, as anticipation builds for the Nigeria-Morocco Business Week, Musa Abubakar in Casablanca reports that industry leaders, policy makers, and investors from both countries gear up to explore new frontiers of economic cooperation.
Nigeria and Morocco trade relations shows a mixed trend, with Nigeria's export to Morocco growing at an annual rate of 3.67% over 5 years, while Morocco's export to Nigeria is set to decline at the rate of 1.88% over the same period.
Mainly, we want to foster closer economic ties between the two countries that have so long-standing historical ties. We want to translate those ties into more concrete economic ties. And the business week actually is to involve a number of Nigerian companies and government departments and ministries who have already arrived here in Casablanca.
Now a look at the markets. Domestic equities market kicked off the week bearish with all share index down 0.74% and investors are losing 414 billion naira. Market breadth closed negatively. We can see the all share index is 98,708.90%. That is quite a decline from Friday's close of transaction. Equity capitalization also dropped to 59.8 trillion naira. Number of deals is 9,414, valued at 4.55 billion naira. And looking at the volume too, we have 353.1 million naira, which means market breadth closed negative at this point in time. Let's look at some of the stocks that performed well at this particular point in time. I can't see, but I know banking stocks like the UBA was actually top-notch at this particular point in time, talking about at the close of transaction today. Let's see what tomorrow will be. Charms as a top sport, a UBA followed an access call, making the financial services sector very, very active at the close of transaction. Well, this is it on business. Network News continues, but after this break, do stay with us.
Glad to know you're still there. The House of Representatives says it is monitoring media reports concerning an incident of alleged assault involving Representative Alex Ikweche and a taxi app driver, Stephen Abuja, which reportedly featured the use of threatening language. House spokesman Akin Rotimi says the 10th House of Representatives takes these allegations very seriously, as it is dedicated to upholding the values of accountability, transparency, and ethical behavior. Now let's join Badi Adele with sport updates. Badi.
Many thanks, Olajide. Now let's begin with the trending news, and of course it's the Ballon d'Or, as the ceremony is currently ongoing in Paris, France. Already Nigeria's Ademola Lookman has been ranked 14th when it comes to this year's award. And of course, with that, it becomes the third Nigerian to be, listed, in the top 15 in the history of Ballon d'Or. And of course, some other winners. The Copa Trophy has gone to Lamine Yamal, Club of the Year for Real Madrid, and of course, the Goalkeeper of the Year for Emiliano Martinez. All right, let's quickly tell you about the Nigeria Premier Football League. As on Monday, 2 matches were decided. Bayelsa United lost against Lobby Stars, who got a 2-1 win. And of course, the other match between Kwara United and Rangers International ended 1-0. All right, let's quickly talk Scrabble, as members of Team Nigeria, who recently participated in the 15th African Scrabble Championship in Kigali, Rwanda, returned home on Monday. The team excelled at the 4-day event, clinching the top 3 positions in the men's category and dominating the women's individual category as well. Oluwatimileyin Doko claimed the victory in the men's division, followed by George Ezenore and Nobu Onosheve. In the women's category, Toyo Mayoko took the title ahead of Adebisi Adekonsi. The 24-year-old pharmacist, a graduate of the University of Lagos, secured the championship with 1 game left, becoming the youngest recipient of the coveted title as the African Scrabble King. And of course, with that, we're done with sports. Let's now return to Olajide.
Many thanks, Badi Adele, and that's it on the Network News. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bello.